Basil, you're very much a political, I would say, wizard. And let me ask you this. The Biden campaign is expecting the candidates to try to, quote, out MAGA each other. Let me put it that way. On the stage at the debate on Wednesday night in Milwaukee, according to a memo. It goes on to mention, the same memo, that the debate is a race for the MAGA base, not a pathway to winning a general election in 2024. That's in quotes. How do you see the primary shaping up? What's Biden's best plan of attack as he prepares for the general election, no matter what they do Wednesday night?
You know, it's in terms of Joe Biden, I think the best plan of attack is to do what he's doing, is to make sure that the economy is solid, to engage a lot of younger voters who are concerned about everything from rising mortgage prices to student loan debt. So make sure that that coalition that was so helpful in 2020 and 2022 in the midterms, independent voters, young voters, but also disaffected Republicans, make sure that that coalition stays intact. And I think the memo is correct in saying that the GOP is probably going to focus more on, from a debate stage standpoint, on attacking Donald Trump. But the reality is that none of them have the language or have spoken in a way that would make them at all successful, or at least competitive, in my view, in a general election. They're focused, as Amy said before, on getting the Donald Trump voters. But if you're Trump light, why not just go for the original, number one? And then number two, you know, if you're on that stage and you spend all your time going after Donald Trump, you know, I remember someone like a Chris Christie, who in 2012, Barack Obama, then President Obama, comes to his state after Superstorm Sandy, and Christie embraces him to thank him for coming to support the state. He spent years afterwards trying to explain that away because he was getting attacked by other Republicans. That kind of posture does not bode well for a general election candidate.
Now, Basil, right now, Hurricane Hillary is barreling towards Southern California. This rare occurrence places it on a collision course with several wildfires that are burning in the Golden State. This comes as 3 wildfires grew out of control last weekend in Maui, in Hawaii. It's spurred by strong winds from Hurricane Dora that passed the island, killing more than 100 people. President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden are scheduled to view the wildfire devastation on Monday. Could these environmental threats place the efforts to reduce the impacts of climate change higher on the political agenda, in your judgment?
I definitely think it does. And again, this is something that Democratic voters generally, but certainly a lot of younger voters, my students, talk about this issue constantly. And it's something that I do believe that they've given Democrats and Joe Biden credit for tackling. But this is, again, an area where if you're in the administration, you're going on that campaign, these are issues that will end up bringing out real young voters who care very deeply about this. I'll just say very quickly, when I was growing, I'm a Gen Xer. The movement of my era was anti-apartheid. For so many young voters right now, it is climate change, it is criminal justice reform. So all of these issues, I think, again, as long as the administration and campaign keeps talking about it, is making policy around it, I do think it helps to mobilize those voters. Absolutely.
Basil Smikle and Amy Tarkanian, thank you both for being with us.